for her husband.
Cindy Mugenborg's husband went to the Cherokee County Jail for missing court, and 5 weeks later on Thanksgiving Day, he was dead. Now, Cindy is suing a jail nurse and the healthcare giant that nurse works for. CBS 46's Harry Samler investigates.
It's the only thing I have left to be near him, to be close to him.
Cindy Mugenborg sits in a parking lot at the Cherokee County Jail. This is the place where her husband Bruce died.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, dear.
Cindy and Bruce married 20 years ago. She took this video at Bruce's favorite place, the Grand Canyon. They built their lives together in Georgia. They even adopted a little baby. Montana turns 10 at the end of this month.
Hey, dear. I love you.
But every day, Cindy wonders why her husband had to die the way he did. She is suing the jail's contracted private health care provider, Prison Health Services. Cindy says the company's lack of care was inhumane.
I just can't believe it's happened. And I just have to come up here. That's all I can say. I just have to.
Well, you know, he was a pre-trial detainee. He hadn't been convicted of anything.
No.
Bruce was not even a convicted criminal. He was in jail for a missed court appearance on simple assault. But when he went in, he was sick, a diabetic suffering from an infection. And over the next 4 weeks, it got much worse. Medical records show that several of Bruce's requests for pain medication were denied. The nurse concluded that Bruce was a drug seeker and a liar, so she referred him to mental health. This is what she told investigators the day he died.
And if I'm not mistaken, he probably didn't want anything to do with mental health because he didn't want us to think he was nuts.
Bruce eventually got pain medication and an antibiotic, but it didn't work.
He came to the window the last time we saw him with an old orange blanket over him, and he said, "I'm so cold in here."
After 5 weeks in jail, Bruce Mugenborg died an agonizing death, and on all days, Thanksgiving 2005. Cindy's lawsuit claims that morning her husband cried out for help but was repeatedly told to be quiet. The autopsy concluded fulminant myocarditis, a virus that shut down his heart. Cindy's lawyer is Scott Archer.
This is a nurse with any basic training would recognize that he had classic signs of serious infection.
One doctor who reviewed the autopsy concluded that Bruce's death was preventable, and an associate professor at a nursing college says Bruce's lack of treatment violated the Georgia State Board of Nursing Practices Act. But listen to the nurse as she explains to investigators. She didn't want Bruce brought to medical because it was Thanksgiving.
First of all, let me tell you, since it's the holiday, our sick call nurse put out a memo saying there would be no sick call.
But deputies thought it was enough of an emergency to bring Bruce to medical anyway.
You called the nurse when you saw the blood?
Yeah.
And immediately you called the nurse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she told me not to bring him down medical.
Shortly after the door was closed, he says, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." I was like, "Bruce, please be quiet." And then he says, in a little while, he says, "I want you to know I've messed on myself." I was like, "Why, Bruce? The toilet is right there at you. Why?" He said, "I couldn't help it."
Nurse Janice Spence went to lunch. When she came back, Bruce Mugenborg was dead, and there was no attempt to revive.
So I've had nightmares over this thing.
Inmates in adjoining cells had their own versions of what happened that morning. One of the most shocking statements from inmate Gary McColgan.
And I hear this guy cry out again, "I need help, I can't breathe." So I kicked on the door. I mean, she's not getting up, so I kicked on the door. I said, "Janice, why don't you go check on me?" And she goes, "Mind your own effing business." I said, "What are you doing?"
McColgan says what bothers him most, his allegation that the nurse drowned out Bruce's screams by turning up a CD player.
This guy didn't have to die.
I just wanted to stop. I don't want no one else to go through what we've gone through.
After Bruce died, Cindy put her life on hold. She spread her husband's ashes in the place he loved most, the Grand Canyon. But the hardest part, she says, explaining a father's death to his only daughter.
He mailed this to Montana, my daughter. We got it the day after he died. He had written it the day before he died. Now she doesn't have a daddy.
Prison Health Services' response comes through its attorneys that its healthcare professionals gave Mr. Muggenborg appropriate and timely medical care. They say it was unfortunately unanticipated and unpredictable. Cherokee County has renewed its contract with the company, and as for Nurse Spence, she continues to work there. Harry Samler, CBS 46 News.